weekend is because I was coming to see you guys, so I'm really excited about it. Well, the season's finally here. We're excited for game week. It brings a new level of energy and enthusiasm to the building every time you get to this point in the season. The training camp has been a long training camp, but a very productive one, and we're ready to flip the page and get ready to go compete against somebody else. As always, I appreciate your guys' coverage of our program. Looking forward to working with you guys throughout the season. Get a chance to see you guys every Monday and then every Saturday after a game also. Just talking about our team quickly, really pleased with where our football team is at. As I mentioned already, we had a very, very productive training camp in my opinion. Really pleased with the time and the effort and the commitment that our staff, our support staff, and our players made to get better and improve this football team. We're healthy, not 100%, but we're fairly healthy. And in my opinion, we have improved in all areas of our football team here throughout training camp. I know a lot of you guys are going to ask about the quarterback position. We haven't had a chance to talk since we named the quarterback, and I'll just touch base on that here real quick. We obviously named Art Sikowski our starting quarterback for this week, and there's a number of reasons why, and I'll just hit on a few of those. First and foremost, he's a talented individual. He's got a lot of skill sets. He can make a lot of throws. But above and beyond that, he's a leader. People follow him. He's been able to galvanize the offense around him, not only from this training camp, but in the summer and in the spring. We think he's got a very high ceiling, and we're excited to let him get out there and take the keys to the offense and see what it produces. But he's had a really good training camp. He's done an outstanding job since he's been on campus, going all the way back to January. And he's ready for this opportunity, and we're ready to give it to him. We're excited to see what he does with it. Overall, I've mentioned this before, our quarterback position, the unit itself, has really been elevated through summer and training camp. I think overall the unit is probably as strong as it's been by far since I've been here, and really excited to see how it continues to go. The competition has been great. The chemistry has been great. Coach McNulty's done a great job with those guys, with a new offense, helping them understand the offense and execute the offense. But overall, it's been a really, really pleasant surprise, and it's a very strong unit, in my opinion, right now. Just a little bit about Texas State before we would open up for questions. That's our opener. It's a very good football team, in my opinion. The record, it wasn't great last year, but they're building a program similar to what we are. I know Everett Withers. Everett Withers is a very good football coach. He's got a good staff. Very familiar with a number of those guys on that staff. Zach Kerr, the offensive coordinator, used to be here. A couple of the other guys were graduate assistants at different stops along the way at Ohio State and Arkansas, so very familiar with them. They run an up-tempo offense. They want to run the ball. We're going to use tempo to try to wear you out on defense. There are some unknowns about their defense right now. They got a new defensive coordinator, and we've been going back studying a little bit about his past and where he's from, and look at the different things that we might see offensively from their defense. But they are from the state of Texas. They do have speed. They've got very good skilled players that can make a lot of plays and do some things when the ball gets in their hands. So we have to be ready. We've got to play a really good football game on Saturday. We've got a lot of work to do here this week, but our guys are hungry, they're eager, and fired up about the opportunity to go play and measure the improvement that we've made in the program. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for any questions.
I think their defensive coordinator was quoted in mentioned the defensive coordinator. He was quoted down there as saying he plans to bring a lot of pressure. They want to be very aggressive defense. How do you kind of approach that, not knowing so much what their scheme will be and having a freshman quarterback?
It's a very good question, and again, we've gone back to look at previous places that he's been. That's what you always do in an opening game. College openers are a little bit unique. There are no preseason games like there are in a lot of high schools in the NFL, so it's a little bit different. When there's a new coach, whether it's head coach or coordinator, you have to do some research. You got to do your history. Go back and look at their history, I should say. And that's what we've had to do with this guy, with the new D coordinator. And we feel like we've done a lot to our offense from our defensive standpoint here in training camp. And we've thrown a lot at our offense as well as the quarterback. And I think that we've done a great job of preparing him for a lot of different things that he's going to see throughout the season. That's really what training camp is about. You go through and you look at one, how you develop the fundamentals and develop your system, but also got to develop the rules that are going to need to be used based on the defensive fronts, the coverages, and things like that. I think Coach McNulty has done a great job of helping our offense get prepared for a lot of things throughout training camp.
Chris, what was the conversation like with Gio once you sat him down and told him what your decision was?
The conversation between Gio and I is between Gio and I. I can tell you about Gio himself right now. He's playing his best football. He's a captain of the football team. He received the most votes of any player, and it wasn't even close on our football team. So that tells you a little bit about the respect that he has from his players. But he has worked extremely hard to continue to improve himself as a quarterback. He's been leading the football team. He understands where it's at right now, and he's going to work to continue to improve as a quarterback, and he's going to work really hard to help Art prepare for his opportunity to go out and lead the football team. Gio is a selfless individual, and really, really proud of him, his attitude, and his outlook on the situation.
Chris, obviously there's a fair amount of excitement about Art around campus. I'm curious what you think is a fair baseline for expectations for him as a freshman.
He's just that. He's a freshman, and regardless of the position, when a freshman starts his first college game, especially, there's going to be goods and bads, and probably even more so from the quarterback position because they're asked to do a lot more. We're excited about what Art can potentially bring to our football team, but we also understand that he is a freshman. It's going to be his first start, and there are going to be mistakes that are going to be made. And our job is to limit those. Our job is to put together a game plan that he feels comfortable with and he can go out and execute, and try not to ask him to do too much. We're not asking Art to go win games. We're asking him to protect the football and get the ball in the hands of other players that can make some plays that can put points on the board. That's what it is.
Just as a follow-up to that, he's not the only true freshman starting. There's 3 in the conference. Southern Cal is a true freshman. Has something changed in the college game in your mind that makes it more easier for a true freshman to start a quarterback?
I don't know if it makes it easier, but I think the development of the quarterback position overall has changed a little bit. There are more quarterback coaches. There are more high school coaches that are quarterback coaches that have developed players to probably have an opportunity to compete to be a starter or to become a starter than you would have seen in the past. And that's just going to continue to happen. That trend's going to continue to go that way. I think a lot of it comes from, again, the background where he's been, how he's been trained, how he's been coached, and a lot of it's just the individual, the type of characteristics that individual have. Just because Art is a talented individual doesn't mean he can go out and do the job we need him to do. There's a lot of other things that he has that shows us that we think he's going to be successful. But I just think it gets back to a lot of it is the individual, but the way that they're trained and developed and coached, at the high school level around the country right now, not only from a high school coach, but quarterback coaches that these guys work with year-round.
More of a big picture question. I think I asked you at the beginning of training camp too, but is a bowl a realistic expectation for this team after going through training camp?
It should be a realistic, goal and an expectation, every year that we're here. That's what we want to do. That is one of our goals with this football team. We could say it every year, but I feel better about our chances of actually achieving that goal with this football team. And it starts because of the senior class. We don't have a big one, but we've got, in my opinion, a talented one. We've got tremendous leadership, and the teams that I've been on, when you have success, it usually starts because of the core of that senior class. And that would be no different with this football team. If we're going to achieve our goals and have a chance to go to postseason play, our seniors are going to have to play their best football. Our seniors are going to have to lead for us. They're going to have to stay healthy. And they're going to have to bring others along with them because we got a lot of young players on our football team too. I think nearly 70% of our football team is a first or second year player. So there's a lot that we're putting on a senior class, and I think that they can handle it. And that's why I think it's a realistic goal.
And I know media fans do this, but they look at the November schedule and look at 4 teams in the top 12 of the country. Do you look at that you have to do your damage? The first 8 games. There's a lot of pressure. You need to win X amount of games during that first 2 months.
Our focus is on Texas State, and that's it. And really, when I say our focus is on Texas State, our focus is on us. We still have to improve. For us to go out and beat anybody on our schedule, from Texas State to Ohio State, we have to go improve, and that's our focus, is our daily improvement. And I know a lot of guys think that's coach speak, but it really isn't. That's what we have to do. That's what our focus is. It's on our preparation and doing it the best that we can do so we can go out and perform to the best of our ability. The schedule, I know a lot of people around here talk about Rutgers' schedule. It's going to be tough. I mean, somebody made the decision to put Rutgers in the Big Ten. If he didn't want to do that, then we shouldn't have done it. You know, it's always going to be a difficult schedule every year, and it's just part of it. And didn't want to have that schedule, didn't want to play those teams. Somebody shouldn't have put, you know, Rutgers in the Big Ten. You know, that's how I feel about it. I don't look at it. I don't worry about it. You know, you got to go play the teams that you got to play, and we want to be invited to the big, you know, big dance with the big boys, and we got to go play them. And you know, that's all we're focused on.
Coach, getting back to the quarterback competition, how did Jonathan Lewis fare, and does he have a potential role to come in and play some series?
Jonathan's just kind of like Gio, in my opinion. He's playing the best that he's played at quarterback right now. And Jonathan has a chance to still, you know, play quarterback, whether it be this year or down the road. Right now, there is no set plan to say, hey, he's going to play this number of snaps or there's going to be this package. Again, we're going to play the guys that we think give us a chance to win right now today. Art has won that competition, and that right. And Jonathan has been he's had a great training camp. He's been playing exceptionally well, and it's the best that he has played. And that's really what we want him to focus on, is continue that improvement. And if he gets that opportunity to go in, take advantage of it, and that creates more opportunities. And Jonathan's done an unbelievable job of just studying, changing his body, working on his fundamentals. And what you guys would have seen last year out of Jonathan Lewis as a true freshman, he is a different individual and different player right now today.
John McNulty said during spring practice, and then he reiterated again during training camp, that he had an inkling of where this quarterback competition might go. Did you ever have that inkling, you know, once Art got on campus in January and you saw what he was, and then he went through spring ball, did you ever have that feeling that it could eventually lead to this?
You know, yeah, probably in spring you saw some, you know, play out of Art that, you know, said, hey, you know what, this guy's got a chance. But I can tell you this, when we got into training camp, no matter what we thought coming out of spring, when we got into training camp and you saw the improvement from Gio and Jonathan both, it became a really close competition. Those two guys have really played well. I think Art, being in the quarterback room, has helped elevate the play of everybody. And it was a really nip and tuck competition all the way until the day that we announced it. I know a lot of people probably don't think that, but it was. And again, because Gio and Jonathan are both, in my opinion, playing the best that they have played since they've been on campus. And it's helped Art improve also. And those three guys have had a great battle, and those three guys have had a great relationship where they're pushing each other.
Is just before I ask about the offense, is Gio the clear number 2, or is that an or situation? Is that flexible?
It's flexible based on the situation. I mean, right now, if Art were to get hurt, you know, based on the situation, Gio would probably be the first to go in, but it's all situational. You know, what the situation is, who we're playing, you know, there's a lot that would go into it, but, you know, Art's our starter. Gio right now would be the most likely guy to go in if Art were to go down.
You mentioned they like to run the ball. I think they bring back their top 3 rushers. I know they named Jones the quarterback this morning. He played last year. What do you kind of see out of their running game? Because they have most of those pieces back. I think they bring back 4 linemen too.
Yeah, they've got a good running game. They really do. I think they'll be much improved on the offensive line with the guys that they've got coming back. But again, they've got skill. The quarterback's a skilled runner. Running backs and wide receivers are skilled players. When you look in the state of Texas, there's no shortage of skilled players that can run, and they have them. And when you mix that with tempo, you know, there's you know, a chance for big plays. So we've got to play really good football, really good defense. That's an area that we have to improve in our football team, is our run defense. We made a huge stride from year 1 to year 2. We've got to take another big jump, and it's going to start with stopping, you know, guys like Texas State has. Great preparation, because his first opponent, you know, right now the Big Ten is such a spread league. It's going to prepare us for the rest of the season also.
We'll take 2 more questions a little bit before we can talk about expectations for Art being a freshman. And you also mentioned last Tuesday, you said whoever we pick is going to be some growing pains. Certainly part of that's a new offense as well. But what is the patience level that you as a staff have for Art to let him develop, particularly with this being his first game, and then his second game is going to daunting atmosphere at Ohio State? What's the patience level as a staff that you guys will have with him?
Well, he's our starting quarterback. I mean, that's it. And you know, we're not trying to create a revolving door. so to speak, at the quarterback position. And I know that's what it's been in the past. But if we're going to move forward, you know, we have to stop that trend. And you know, we're hoping that this, you know, is the direction that we can go, and we can stop doing that. But only time will tell. But we're not looking to yank the quarterback out after the first interception or mistake that he makes. You know, we don't want to do that to any position, let alone especially the quarterback position. So, you know, he's our guy. We're going to work with him, and it's going to be important that we develop a plan that he can go out and execute and build confidence, and can help move the football team down the field and put points on the board. And that's really what it is.
So overall, how important is year 3 for this program to show what you're building here, especially given the first 2 seasons?
Well, I think every year is important. I mean, we you know, this is a building process, not a building miracle. It's a process, and from year 1 to year 2, we improve. Year 2 to year 3, we need to improve. Year 3 to year 4, we need to improve. You know, every year our goal is to continue to improve the program and move it forward. And that's really all that we're focused on. I think right now, today, after training camp, we have the best football team that we've had since I've been here. What does that mean? You know, we can discuss that in December, because you know, there's a lot that can happen between now and then. But that's our goal, is just to move the program forward and show improvement every single week and every single year that we go out. Now, everybody has, you know, different ideas of what improvement means. And at the end of the day, winning games does measure improvement. That's not the end-all be-all. There are things that happen in your program, in your building, that people don't see on a daily basis that indicate improvement. But I do know, I'm not naive to the fact that winning games to the outside world is where real improvement is measured. And we have to win more games in year 3 than we have in year 1 or year 2.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Take care.